The battlefield had gone quiet. Ash drifted through the ruined hangar like snow. The war between humans and the Karath had finally burned itself into exhaustion. Only scattered survivors and shattered steel remained. Sergeant Nathan Ward limped through the debris, pulse rifle slung across his chest. His suit was cracked, oxygen low. Every breath sounded like sand scraping glass. He heard movement behind the wreckage of a fallen fighter. A voice, low, metallic, but unmistakably female. "Stay where you are, human." He raised his rifle, but froze. The figure emerging from the smoke wasn't another scavenger or enemy drone. It was a Karath soldier. Taller, leaner, her silver armor glinting faintly through the dust. A blaster hung at her side, trembling slightly in her grip. Her armor bore the emblem of the Karath High Command, the very unit that had nearly annihilated his company months before. "Don't," she said sharply. "Don't shame me by making me shoot an unarmed man." Nathan stared. "You call this shame? You slaughtered everyone I served with." "War isn't slaughter," she snapped back. "It's survival." He stepped closer, lowering his weapon. "Then look at what your survival costs." He gestured around them. The wrecked ships, the burned air, the shattered sky. "You won. Congratulations." The Karath soldiers' breathing hitched. "We didn't win. Nobody did." For a long time, they just stood there, the last remnants of two species who had spent a decade trying to erase each other. Her name was Erinla. He learned that only after she removed her helmet. The motion was slow, deliberate, almost defiant. Beneath the armor, her face was a strange harmony of alien precision and haunting familiarity. Smooth gray skin, luminous blue eyes, and the faint lines of exhaustion etched like scars of light. "Why did you take it off?" he asked. "You told me to," she replied evenly. "You said to look you in the eye." Nathan swallowed. "You could have shot me instead." "Maybe," she said, setting the helmet on the ground. "But I'm tired of hiding behind metal." They found temporary shelter inside the ruined hangar control room. It still smelled of burning circuits and plasma residue. Erinla used her armor's power cells to start a small heating core. Nathan collapsed beside it, exhaustion pulling at his limbs. "You're bleeding," she observed. "Just a graze," he muttered. "I've had worse." Without asking, she tore a strip from her undersuit and pressed it against the wound. Her hands were steady, clinical, but there was something gentle beneath the precision. "Your people said we were monsters," he said quietly. "Do monsters do this?" "Sometimes," she replied. "When they remember they used to be something else." He almost smiled. "So where you now?" "Lost," she said. Hours passed. Outside, the distant crack of collapsing metal echoed through the dead city. Inside, two enemies shared silence. Nathan finally broke it. "When you said don't shame me, what did you mean?" Erinla's expression tightened. "Among the Karath, surrender is the greatest disgrace. Being captured alive is worse than death. But I didn't want to die like a coward." "You think surviving is cowardice?" "For us, it is." Nathan shook his head. "For us, surviving is everything. You can't rebuild from the grave." Her gaze flicked toward him. "That's what makes humans dangerous. You rebuild even from ashes." By morning, their rations were gone. Nathan's comms were dead. The nearest extraction point was 50 kilometers across irradiated terrain. "We won't make it without radiation filters," Erinla said. Nathan looked at her suit. "Your armor has internal filtration." "It's linked to my genetics," she said. "It won't function for you." "Then we share it," he said. She frowned. "Impossible. You'd have to remove half my armor shell." "Then take it off," he interrupted, tone sharp but steady. "Take off the armor. Say you still want to survive, and look me in the eye when you do." Her lips parted, anger flashing. But then, slowly she exhaled. "You don't understand. For me, that's surrender." "No," he said quietly. "That's trust." Piece by piece, Erinla detached sections of her armor, recalibrating the filtration core. Her movements were precise, practiced, ritualistic. When she handed him the repurposed breather mask, their fingers brushed. For a heartbeat, two soldiers from opposite worlds shared the same fragile air. "You saved me," she said softly, "even though I would have killed you a day ago." "Maybe that's why," he replied, "because I've seen enough killing." The trek across the wasteland took hours. Radiation storms carved the sky into ribbons of blue fire. Aaron Law's armor flickered as energy reserves drained, while Nathan's human stamina faltered. Yet neither stopped. When they finally reached the abandoned relay tower, both collapsed in the dust. Nathan forced open a communication console. "If this still works, I can get a signal out." "To your command?" she asked. "To anyone still listening." She hesitated. "And if they come for me?" He looked up at her, exhausted but resolute. "Then I'll stand between you and their guns." Her eyes widened. "You defy your own for me?" "You took off your armor," he said simply. "Guess it's my turn." Hours later, the distress beacon blinked weakly to life. A human patrol ship responded. "Extraction ETA. 2 hours." Aaron Law sat beside him in silence. Her armor was gone now. Only the underlayer remained. She seemed smaller, almost fragile. "Your people will kill me," she said. "Not if I tell them the truth," he answered. "The truth? That you're the reason I'm still alive." When the dropship arrived, human soldiers flooded the site, weapons raised. Aaron Law tensed, reaching for a blade she no longer had. Nathan stepped forward, arms outstretched. "Stand down," he ordered. "She's under my protection." "Sir, she's an enemy combatant." "She's a survivor," he barked. "Same as us." The soldiers hesitated, uncertain. Finally, they lowered their rifles. Nathan turned to Aaron Law. "See? No shame in living." For the first time, she smiled, a faint, weary expression that carried the weight of two civilizations. Weeks later, Nathan found himself in a debriefing chamber aboard the Odyssey, the last operational carrier of the Terran fleet. Across from him sat Aaron Law, no longer bound, her Kareth insignia removed. The Admiral's voice echoed through the room. "Sergeant, you disobeyed engagement protocol, protected an enemy soldier, and transmitted unauthorized signals." Nathan stood at attention. "Yes, sir." "Why?" He met Aaron Law's gaze across the room. "Because she reminded me what humanity means." When they were dismissed, Aaron Law walked beside him through the corridor, silent for a long moment. "You risked everything for me," she said. "You did the same when you took off your armor." She tilted her head. "Do humans always see surrender as strength?" "Only when it's the hardest thing to do." Outside the viewport, the wreckage of the old war drifted in orbit, silent monuments to pride and destruction. "What happens now?" she asked quietly. Nathan looked out at the stars. "Now we rebuild. Together,